Yeah, likewise. Right, we're going to go from Edinburgh Giants and what they're potentially going to get for Christmas and look at Huddersfield Giants and what they're definitely getting for Christmas ahead of pre-season training and their new signings from the NRL.
Yeah, so Huddersfield didn't have a great season last year, did they? By any stretch of the imagination. I think, yeah, it started pretty poorly. It got worse in the middle. They had a little bit of a resurgence at the end when Luke Robinson came in, but a team that sort of lacked, I don't know, inspiration. There's something was
a miss, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a big miss last year with Huddersfield, and it was one of those teams you didn't really want to watch when they were on Sky TV. They weren't too much going on, really. They weren't very exciting. But yeah, they brought in 3 players from the NRL. We're bringing the sniper in, who's our NRL expert. He's going to give us a couple of stats and things. So they brought in Tom Burgess from the Bunnies, Jacob Gagai from the Bunnies, and Zac Woolford from Canberra Raiders. So a winger, a forward, and a hooker. And here's what he had to say.
So, festive period, what has Huddersfield got for Christmas? That's the main question. So they've got 3 players in. They've got 3 players in from the NRL. One of them you guys know really well.
Yeah.
Tom Burgess. Who's your favourite Burgess brother before we kick off?
Oh, that's an obvious answer. It's obviously Sam.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Why is that?
I'll be honest with you. It was a natural leader. The rest of the Burgess brothers followed in his shadow. I always thought George was decent, but yeah, Sam was without doubt the best player. I've never been a massive fan of Tom, to be honest with you. I'm a Bradford fan, so I used to watch him week out at Bradford, and I never thought he had the best hands. He used to cough up a lot of ball. I think he did get a lot better once he went to the NRL. Yeah, but he wasn't my favourite Burgess brother.
He was only with Bradford for about a year, wasn't he?
A couple of years, really, because we saw him come up through the sort of academy ranks and things like that as well. But yeah, he spent enough time there.
Yeah, slightly different answer for me. I love the 2 twins. I love the fact that they come off the bench. You can't really tell who's who. Do you know what I mean? I love them more. Like they're my favourite as a pair. If I had to pick an individual, then I would pick Sam. So that's my answer to that.
Because I think I think Tom scored around 1 in 10 tries whilst he was at Bradford. So he played 45 games. He got 4 tries. And if you look at what he actually did in Australia, it's pretty much the same average.
Yeah.
He had 249 games for the Rabbitohs. He scored 22 tries. So you're looking at about 1 in 10 again. And we've always been really big fans of his. Because generally, if you find a team with a soft middle, he's a great player to take for a try.
Yeah.
So we've done quite well on him. We've got 12-1, 14-1 on him, and odds like that. So he's definitely a favourite of our group. So in terms of what he's been doing, have you kept an eye on him whilst he's been in Australia?
So I get to watch a couple of NRL games every now and then with a sort of time difference. So, but yeah, he's had a solid couple of years there, hasn't he? Well, longer than a couple of years now.
Yeah. He's been there, since 2013. So, 249 appearances. It's huge.
Massive, yeah.
So, in terms of what he'll give Huddersfield, I think if the first question everyone's going to be asking is, has he still got it?
Yeah.
He's definitely still got it. You guys would have seen him play for England, particularly last year. I think he did score a try last year whilst playing. Who were England playing in the Tonga?
Yeah.
Tonga last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored against Tonga. He's definitely still got it. He'll give Huddersfield a massive energy boost through the middle. He can still dominate a ruck, and he's a really, really big attacking presence, especially for a big man. So I think you'll be impressed in attack. I think he'll be really good. But the main question is, he'll be really good in attack. But why didn't his brother sign him?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it's something to do with finance. I think Warrington have already spent pretty big. I think they've got a fairly balanced side anyway, so that's probably why. I don't know, unless you've got any inside knowledge. I think it'd be probably to do with price.
It could be price. It could be. I mean, if you're looking a little bit more deeply, he does get found out in defence.
Yeah.
So the word I've got written down here is he's a potato in defence. So that could be the main issue. So it could be too many mince pies at Christmas. It could be, he's just not got the movement that he used to.
No,
laterally.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think Tom Burgess is a player that suits Huddersfield, actually. Huddersfield were a bit soft down the middle last year, and it cost them. They didn't build much of a platform, so I think bringing in somebody like Tom Burgess is a good fit for Huddersfield. It's good sort of signing for Luke Robinson. Yeah, that with the other player we're going to mention in a minute, I think he's going to really strengthen their pack, really.
Right. Do you think, because he's been playing 20-minute stints in the NRL, do you think he'll get a starting role, or will he be a bench forward?
I think he'll start. And it wouldn't surprise me if he played a little bit longer than 20-minute stints as well. I know he's always been an impact player, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the Huddersfield want to get a bit more out of him.
So of late, he's been found out when he's moving laterally and he's been sliding in. His tackle efficiency is the worst in the NRL for a starting prop.
Oh, really?
So that's something that Huddersfield fans will need to be aware of. Statistically, it's really, really poor. So we think he'll be a gun in attack. No doubt he'll score, 10% or more like he did before.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to get found out. And the question is, has he got the engine that he used to have?
Well, how did he go last year? If you watched most of his games last year, was he still pretty efficient, or?
Yeah, it was 20-minute stints. It was attacking impact stints, and he did cross a few times. So I think he was brought on for impact rather than defensive solidity. If you look at the Rabbitohs season, it wasn't great. They were ravaged by injury. Alex Johnston was out on the wing for ages. He's gone under the knife and he's going to be out. I think he's going to miss the first few games of next season as well. So they were in a really, really bad state. They were, I think, one of the teams hit hardest by injury. So it was a case of players plugging holes rather than players playing in their rightful position.
Right.
Do you want to move on?
Yeah, should we move on to? I think we'll stay with the pack. So Huddersfield, we know are desperate for a hooker. So Zac Woolford is coming from Canberra Raiders. What can you tell us about him?
He's a very solid defender, given his lack of NRL experience. He's not someone that teams can target, and in the past he's shown that he's decent in terms of creativity, and he can put players through for a try. In terms of cons, he hasn't got much NRL experience. He's been sitting on the bench most of the time. Other players have taken priority with the coach and the squad. I think you've had Danny Levi, who's taken the starting hooker position over the last couple of years or so. He only played one game for Canberra this season. He's not a well-known try scorer, so he won't be a big threat from dummy half for defenders to worry about. So, I mean, I think Canberra have probably done the right thing. Morgan Smithies hasn't really done that well. He's been solid, but he's been a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
You don't really want to be carrying Zac Woolford and Morgan Smithies in the same team. So it could be a good signing for Huddersfield.
A little bit of an unknown then,
what do
you
think he's going to bring to Huddersfield, guys?
Well, I don't know too much about him. So, I mean, he's played in the Queensland Cup, I believe. He seems to have quite a good reputation, but like you say, he's not played much NRL. So, yeah, it's hard for us to say on that one. It could be one of those buys, though, that Huddersfield have found a bit of a gem in the rough, really.
Could be. He could be really good. He's still 28 years old, so this ought to be his prime. Who's the starting hooker at the moment for Huddersfield?
It was Adam Milner, wasn't it? But he's moved on.
Yeah, I don't think they've got a recognised hooker at the minute.
Right.
Huddersfield pretty tough.
And then the other thing is Jake Connors.
Yeah, he's moved on
as well. So I was wondering who's going to play. Who's going to be fullback? Are they going to move Lolohea to fullback?
One thing I do know is when Huddersfield announced Zac Woolford, they very much announced him like he was he's going to be their main man at hooker. I think they said in the press conference that they're short in the 9 department. So yeah, we'll see where he lands, but it could well be the starting 9 for Huddersfield next year.
I think solid rather than flashy is the way to look at it. Hopefully he carves it up in Super League, does really well. That'd be really good to see.
Well, Huddersfield have generally signed players that are just hard working, don't they? They don't really tend to go for sort of flashy individuals that are. I think Huddersfield have, since sort of the Paul Anderson era, they've always built a sort of just a solid team that just goes under the radar a little bit. So it may well fit in really well for them.
Yeah. Do you think they'll improve this coming season?
Yes, I think they will.
I think they've got to. I think they've really got to. In all aspects of the game, really. I mean, the crowds were pretty dire. The atmosphere was pretty dire. The rugby on the pitch was not very inspirational.
They just never really got going last year, did they, Huddersfield?
No.
They just stalled. So we'll see how they go. Should we move on to the last signing from the NRL? From the Bunnies then? Jacob Gagai.
Yeah, so he's the joker in the pack. He's the one that could potentially light the fuse, get the body language going, get the fans going, score a load of tries, and make a real point of difference in attack. So the issue he had last season at the Rabbitohs was that Cody Walker moved from the left to the right.
Right.
In terms of ball, he wasn't getting great ball. He'll be potentially feeding off Lolohea there, so he should start to see more ball. He's a player that can find the try line. He plays far more maturely than what his experience shows in terms of NRL experience, because I think he only actually made his debut this year, and he's 28 years old.
Wow.
So on paper, he hasn't really been blooded for that long. But he was good. He was very popular in the betting market. He was normally around even money to score every week, even against the big teams. So he's popular. He's liked. He's the little brother of Dane Gagai, who you might know from the Newcastle Knights.
Yeah.
And he's the cousin of Wendell and Tristan Saylor.
All right.
So they're all from the same family. Yeah. So Saylor's coming over, and Gagai's cousin's coming over as well. So no doubt they'll be up to no good together in the Super League.
So how do you think he's going to go then? Do you think he's a decent signing for Huddersfield?
I do. I think he's the most exciting one. In terms of stature, he's fairly lightweight. He's quite lithe. He knows how to finish. He's quick, but he's not that quick.
Right.
So, he's not electric. You're not sort of looking at someone that's going to burn defences week in, week out. He can be found out in defence as well. So they're going to have to keep an eye on him, because I think he will be targeted.
So that's two.
In terms of tries, he scored, I think 9 tries or so last season.
In how many games? How many games he played? Sorry.
Yeah, he played 17 games. He played Magic Round. He played in Vegas. His debut was in Vegas.
Yes.
And he scored on his debut, which would have been an awesome feeling.
Okay.
And then he went on to make 17 appearances and scored 9 tries.
9 tries in 17 appearances. A pretty good strike rate. I think Huddersfield will take that, definitely.
Absolutely. And the issue was he was behind Tymon Rowe. So Tymon Rowe is the next big thing for the NRL. Really tall, lanky winger, great finisher. And I think, it was just a little bit too much for him to overtake him. And another guy called Fletcher Myers, who had a really good end to the season. So Alex Johnston's been out. He's coming back. I would have Fletcher Myers third string. I'd have Tymon Rowe first team. So he's probably 4th or 5th in terms of the pecking order.
Right.
So Huddersfield have done really well here. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see him score 20 plus tries in Super League. Do you want to ask me something, or is that fine?
Well, I would say you look at those 3 signings for Huddersfield. Which one do you think is going to be the best signing, and which one do you think is going to be the worst?
Well, we're biased Tom Burgess fans. Yeah. So he's got to be in the middle. We take Gagai 1, Burgess 2, Woolford 3. So Gagai will impress. He'll definitely go on a streak. The Huddersfield fans are going to love him, and I don't think he's going to trouble top try scorer. But he'll definitely be in the top quarter in terms of try scorers, if you like. So it'll be nice for them to have a different point of difference in attack rather than just Lolohea.
Yeah.
So Lolohea and Jake Bibby and all that. He'll be good. Very confident on him.
Sniper, thank you very much again for joining us.
Thank you guys.
All right, well, if you enjoyed that, that's part of a regular feature that we're going to have in the run-up to next season. We're going to break down the new signings from every club in the Super League from the NRL and just get a little bit of depth because a lot of these players we perhaps don't know a great deal about. And the Sniper, it's his job to understand these players, to know what other people don't know about them. So next week we're going to tackle Catalan. Probably may even do like a 2-part series with Catalan because there is some mega signings into Catalans and lots of them as well. So stay tuned for that. As always, we want your feedback on this kind of stuff. So if you think it's a hit and you're enjoying it, let us know and we'll do more of it. Okay.